I've recently been thinking about some of the objections that I received regarding my position on divorce and remarriage, that it is unacceptable in the eyes of God. One of the objections that I commonly receive is the fact that the second marriage has a vow. And they say, well, are you going to break up the second vow? They've already broken the first, are you going to make them break the second? Well, I would say that the vow that they made is actually unacceptable. And I would use the same argument for a homosexual marriage. And many at that time, when I make that point, they say, well, that's clearly against God, for it says in Genesis chapter 2 that it's between a male and a female. True, it is between a male and a female. But in that same passage, it says that male and that female become one flesh. And using other scriptures, even the words of the Lord Jesus Christ, that if you divorce your wife and marry another, you committeth, present tense, adultery. And so Jesus Christ agreed that a marriage created outside of the original one flesh union is adultery, and I agree with him. John the Baptist agreed with that, and he lost his head for it, for he told Herod that it is unlawful for him to have his brother's wife. So the same people who use the argument that a homosexual vow should be broken because it's unacceptable are ignoring the fact that in the same passage in Genesis chapter 2 and Ephesians 5, it clearly says one man, one woman become one flesh. That is so clear, I'm not sure why they reject it. Marriage is permanent. It only ever is ended at death of either one of the spouses. A pastor once used the argument between the example I gave of a husband and wife that were divorced. The wife left the husband and went and married someone else. And I said to this person, has that person, that wife, become one with the new husband? And he said to me, as far as the wife is concerned, her marriage to her first husband is dissolved. And I said, okay, so that means then that the first husband should be free to marry. And he said to me, no, as far as that man is concerned, he needs to stay true to his marriage vows. So apparently the first husband is still one with his wife, but his wife, who's now one with someone else, is no longer bound to the first husband. This is the sort of confusion that people have to come up with when they don't take God at his word. Read Romans 7, verses 1 to 4, 1 Corinthians 7, verse 39. Read the comments of the Lord Jesus Christ where he speaks on divorce and remarriage. Read Genesis chapter 2, and you will see that God sees the first marriage between a male and a female. If death hasn't occurred, it is permanent, and it only ends at the death of either one of them. You can't get any clearer than that. God bless.